beverage on that beat, going crazy.
It's like the Kardashians evolved like Pokemon, and she took the trophy for appropriation. I was like, okay. And she has all these followers that are like, oh, she's so awesome. I was like, you love black culture, but what have you done for the black cause? You can't just go out here and like pretend to protest and just take it for the gram. You gotta be out here and doing things steadily. If you're gonna be an ally or you're gonna appropriate black culture, you gotta be there for black men. I told white women this all the time. I'm like, you like black men? You gotta appreciate the culture, but you also gotta advocate. There's advocacy that is needed. And I feel like
more of these people who, and I'm not, in no way, shape, or form am I saying anything towards interracial dating or anything. Please don't get it wrong, because that would be wrong.
Because you are a product of some
kind
of interracial dating.
Exactly. So I'm in no way, shape, or form.
More than dating.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of international all up in here. I'm across the water. And somewhere around here with some, like, if y'all look at my lineage, you're going to be like, I'm saying, but how? How did you go from here to here to there? What? Okay. But if you're going to love someone who has a different cultural standing than you, i.e., a African American male and a Caucasian female, y'all have two separate experiences and ingrainments in your mind and histories behind. You both need to research each other, find out the experience of the other person, appreciate it and support it. And that's on both sides.
You gotta understand it too.
Yeah, like you need to be watching some movies and reading books.
And dating a black guy.
Yeah, you can't. That's not, no. Stop doing that. There's a lot of y'all out here doing that, and it's annoying. It's insulting. Why would you?
I feel like my biracial baby has to choose between. No
one's saying that. Don't nobody care. We just want you to acknowledge the parts of you that are there. And not just be like, I refuse to accept the fact that I am black. Tired words.
And that's like, there was this girl on TikTok, and she's a black woman, and she speaks Russian because her mom is Russian, her dad is black, and TikTok was hella confused. Like, there are black Russians, there are black people everywhere.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, and even on the flip side, a lot of y'all, here, fun fact, I know y'all seen like a lot of movies with Charlize Theron. Did y'all know that she was South African? Like, she was born there.
Mm-hmm. There are white Africans.
Yeah, she's legit African. Mm-hmm. Don't get it fucked up. Just because there's a label somewhere don't mean nothing. She's African. She one of us. Like, if you want to go back to like we all African, we all came from Africa, she one of us. So you need to research who you're with, and who, if you love this man or this woman from this culture, you should probably figure out ways to support that culture. You can't just say all lives matter and you dating a black man, because guess what? All lives matter does not pertain to him.
Don't sit there and say, oh, I got you, baby. All lives matter. And then whenever you sit there and something happens to you, like you get in a situation and you sit there and like throw that person under the bus, like no, I do not agree with that.
The difference is this: if you are in a relationship with somebody from a different culture and you get pulled over by a police officer, white, black, candy shoving, a lot of times people look at these officers and they always think, oh, it had to be a white officer. Ha ha to you, because you'd be surprised how many times I've been pulled over by a black officer, and because I didn't fit what he wanted. Like, you know, I'm light skinned, so they automatically think, I don't know if they thought that maybe I was going to try and like swindle my way through, or but we do have privilege. The closer you are to passing the paper bag test, you do have privilege. And it's sad, because if we were to reverse that and I was your passenger and you got pulled over, they're giving you a ticket.
The crazy thing is, like, the one time I did get pulled over, I've only got pulled over twice in my life. The second time that I got pulled over was actually recently. And it was to the point where I was like, okay, just give me the ticket, send it in the mail. At this point, I was like, I'm over it, this situation. Like, I'm not going to argue with you. I'll see you in court type thing. I think a lot of times, they don't expect you to pay the money and not do. They expect you to just pay the money and say, yeah, I'm guilty. I'm like, no, I'm gonna pay the money. I'm gonna show up in court. I'm gonna have my day in court. Because you can't have. I was like, there's no point in me having this interaction with this police officer. It's not gonna make or break. He's still gonna do what he wants to do regardless.
Exactly.
So I'm just going to show up in court when I have my turn.
Right.
Whenever my mom transferred me to a different school.
Hey, keep talking, I'm looking.
Whenever my mom transferred me to a different school, she transferred me to a suburb school, but I'm from and I lived in the hood, but she got a house and we didn't live there, but she transferred me to that school to have better education and people.
No, Velvy's trying to get through, but she's got that thing around her neck, so she keeps poking her head through the curve.
People used to sit there and classmates and so forth used to do the paper bag thing with me, so I really didn't have friends because of that. There was more white people in my there was more white people in my middle school than blacks, but as time progressed, blacks came and I had friends. But
see, me, it was the opposite. It was like I went to a upper class school, like for elementary school, and there were only so many of us. So you gravitate to it. At least for me, growing up, before school started, I would hang out with any color, any race. So when I saw a group of my people that looked like me, I gravitated. I was like, hey, trying to make friends, not thinking that it would be an issue because of the shade. Are you Latino? Are you Dominican? Are you Spanish? You speak Spanish? And when I had to say no to all those things, it was like, so then what are you? Oh, you're just one of them light-skinned people. Oh, okay.
Like, they used to sit there and they used to sit there and be like, you can't hang with us because you're not the same skin complexion. You can't hang with us. Yeah. Or whatever.
And people think that's ridiculous. Like, but that's exactly what it is with kids. They don't care. They have no filter. They don't care. But these are things that they see. When they look on TV, their examples of beauty are this, So it's all already like, well, that's bad, And since for some reason the example of bad is being dark skinned, I have to hate you, even though
I experienced, like I said, I experienced colorism pretty early. So I got bullied for it. Then I became a bully people that didn't bully me. So I kept the cycle going on. And then cool thing about it is school got mad diverse. I was like, oh, school's diverse. The older I got, I was like, okay, this is cool. So I was like, I hadn't experienced racism still yet until I got to college. I went to a predominantly white college, and they asked why couldn't they have a white student union when there were only 25% minorities, not even that, in the whole university. And it's like, okay, guys, you don't understand white privilege, but that's not cool. But okay. The school even got me, like, I made these cool shirts. Sold a whole lot of these shirts. Even, like, white people were buying them. And they said black by popular demand back in, like, this was, like, 2009, 2010. The school was like, we got a lot of complaints about these shirts. Your choice is to take our name, the college name, off the shirt, or they said give people their money back. And I said,
Wow.
I'll take school name off the shirt. Y'all
Right, like, actually, the only reason I put it on there was
I did a lot of work, designing these shirts. So I could take y'all's
that's
name
fine.
off
And you know what I would have
still
did?
make
I'd have been ignorant as hell. I would have left their name on it, but just put a big X through it. Like, I mean, your name is on there, but it's X'd out. So it's
X'd
telling
out.
people. But I wanted them to know that you were a part of it. I think history's important.
because they approved it until people started complaining about
History's
black
important.
by popular demand.
What are y'all thoughts about them taking down these statues of people who owned slaves?
I don't care no way, because most of the time the people that built these statues are white people anyways.
Yeah, but I don't like the fact that, like, I don't know if this is.
I don't know. That was off subject. I just thought about it when you said they wanted their name off these shirts, and I thought about like how now they're taking these
But the
statues down. But I'm like, the statues aren't the
because
issue.
we know that they ain't telling history the right way that you're supposed to be telling history.
They're
Like
not.
the people that lived in Oklahoma didn't even know about Black Wall Street. I was raised by a mom who was very like Black Power. She was very militant about like making sure I knew my history because she knew that the school wouldn't teach me about parts of my history. I was like, why hadn't I took American history, so like every year when you take social studies, all it is watered down American history, and it's to the point where they control the narrative. And
you look at what you do is you follow who wrote it.
Yeah.
And then with every edition, I've learned, and I took an African studies like crash course, and they were saying with every edition of textbook that's in history, they delete a portion of Black history.
You can't just be like, oh, this is the great things about America. America's really fucked up until America
Napoleon Bonaparte and all these other people, and I'm like,
because it's like
that has nothing to do with me.
Being in school or whatever, and they give you these textbooks and everything. You're supposed to read them and so forth.
And no,
These textbooks are not like they're not exact.
yeah, because you look at some, and then the funny thing is that my aunt did
and they left out
African
a hell of
studies.
a lot of shit.
And she used to, when I would have to have help with homework, she would help me sometimes. And she'd be like, I just want you to know before we even finish this, that this isn't actually accurate. Like, this person didn't discover this. And this didn't happen. Which confused you because you have to retain this information and then regurgitate it back to them. And I'm like, I'm that kid in school that was like, I'm not doing it.
My mom had me watching Roots as a kid.
Right?
I was playing Black History video games. We even went to go see Martin Luther King's house in Atlanta. It was a Black History journey. Like my entire life, she wanted to make sure that there is Black History. You might not have your first Black History class until college. I had a half a semester of Black History in high school.
We had one teacher that actually, he was at Gateway, I forget what his name was, but Darnell had him. And he was the only teacher that they literally would split our history class in half. So we would have half of like American history, and then they would switch us to his classroom to get African history. And I appreciated it, but I'm like, why do they have to split the class and find another person to teach? That means that this other professor doesn't know our history. Which scares me because I'm like, yo, he's walking around here not knowing about anything that we've been through. which makes him a target to.
Like, I knew about Black Wall Street and the fact that Central Park used to be a village, not a village, but a community of black people. It was destroyed by white people. Pretty early.
My mom, like whenever before in elementary school, before elementary school and during elementary school, my mom sat there. She had all the Roots, all the movies of the Roots. I believe there's like 5 of them.
And like a lot of people look at the Roots now, like and a lot of people are afraid to watch it. And I've heard, I don't want to watch this because it's going to make me angry.
But
you know what?
You know what it did? Like, I sat there and I watched and everything, and it made me hate white people because of what they did to us.
But see, here's the thing about that: it's not just white people. Like, there's a lot of I appreciate some of these series that are coming out now that really do display colorism. Like, they literally show black people discriminating against their own based on tone.
It sounds like we have enough slave movies.
Yeah, we know it happened. They know it happened.
We have enough slave movies. It's time to not retire that. Like, you can still watch the ones that are now because there's a whole basket full of black people as slave movies. But a lot of people never watched The Banker, which is based on a true story about that was awesome. And we need more positive black stories.
You know what else I thought was a really good? I guess they put it out as a series, but I didn't know when I watched. I thought it was a movie. What is her name?
Madam C.J. Walker.
Yeah, thank you so much. See, we right
You
here.
seen it?
That really made it like you got these successful black women, and it really made you look.
They
at
left
it
out
like,
a lot, though.
They did a whole lot, but it was enough to make me see. I was like, see,
It's like
here we go again.
Whenever
That light skin, long wavy hair. That's gonna be our poster girl because we can't put this one that's got this beautifully kinky hair on there.
it's like whenever they decide to make actual black movies, people who actually stood strong, they sit there and they chop it up and they leave a lot of parts out. A lot.
They do. But that's why we need more people to be educated.
It's like we only see the watered down version, but you read and everything, you get the whole story. But it's like they leave a hell of a lot out.
I just really wish that at some point we could be as strong of a community as some of these other communities. Like, I'm not saying that colorism doesn't take form in a lot of other cultures, Hispanic, Mexican American. I mean, you name it, they have a stigma. If you don't have these features, you're not as good as this person or these people.
But now being dark skin is a trend, and I'm like, how long is it going to be a trend?
Right, like how long is this going to last? I'm so glad, but like, trends.
You called me all the names in the book as a kid, and
Here we go. Yvonne Orgy, shout out to Yvonne Orgy, yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
this.
Because I do remember back in the day when we had people, we would go to 125th Street and we had the Nigerians and Africans selling us incense, and everybody used to always call them all kinds of names. Look at them now.
I found out that one of my biggest bullies, I still know 2 of my biggest bullies. One I know because of my best friend, and she's still friends with her. And turns out she likes women. Maybe she always liked women. And that was just picking on me, was her way of just dealing with that. And then the other one that picked on me, it turns out she didn't like herself. She got hella plastic surgery.
No.
Say that.
You can't. I know you're about to because I want to really bad. But no, you can't because I can't.
Okay, we'll wait till after.
Yeah, we're going to wait till after.
We'll talk about it later.
We're going to talk about it later. Y'all going to need way more wine than what we got on this table right here. But yeah, my bully in elementary school was your complexion. but she claimed she was Dominican. Shout out, I think her name was Vanessa Galarrada. I don't know if that was really her last name, but she was definitely Dominican, and she lived in Harlem. And if you're watching this right now, come find me. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. But then she was with a Latina, and her name was Nina Lozada.
What the hell?
Listen, I'm from New York. There's all kinds of all everywhere. Okay.
So she had the same exact last
She was darker than that.
But she had the same.
What's up? No, Valorado
that's a
and
different
Lozada. Lozada, obviously, you know.
Like, I got treated really
Latin.
nice by, like, the Latin men when I lived in New York and Corona, Queens.
But you know what's crazy? I had the opposite experience. Because I wasn't Spanish enough. I may have been Spanish looking.
I'm not Spanish
But I
at
wasn't.
all.
The Spanish men in New York, like dark skinned, crazy, right?
They
And they
pray.
look, yes, yes, and I could not understand. I'm like, I can't find a man to save my life. Because everything I've been taught through the magazines and the TV is that, shit, I'm diabetes. I don't understand. At the time, I had a six-pack, I'm athletic. I'm like, I got nice hair. I don't understand what the problem is. Not ugly. I mean, I don't think I'm ugly, but okay. But they would always go for a darker woman, which wasn't a problem, but I was just like, okay.
And out of all the places I lived, Pittsburgh is the least progressive when it comes to diversity.
Honey.
I was like, y'all way behind. Y'all way
Listen,
behind in music,
I can't catch
fashion.
an Uber without somebody asking me, oh, are you Hispanic?
Pittsburgh is terrible when it comes to diversity.
Do you remember that Uber ride we had with that driver?
That was the Trump supporter?
Him.
How could I forget him? He was the worst.
Listen, no,
He was a great person. He was a great person.
He was funny as hell. But
In Day-Day's words, he was batshit crazy.
he was. He made me really put on my seatbelt. But it was like, I'm not sure where this is going. And no shade to anyone who supports Trump. If you're looking at my face and you see this eye roll that I have. But to each his own. We're not going to turn this into a political episode. But this dude went from one end of the spectrum to the other. I'm like, how we get here? How do we get here? And sometimes people just have this thing where they feel like they need to make excuses for their words. Like he'll say something really insulting. I'm not saying that, you dark-skinned people aren't like, equal. I'm just saying, yes, you just said it. You literally that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Or you get it from your own people. It's because you're dark-skinned. Ha, ha, ha. That shit's not funny. That's not. We need to stop laughing at each other. Emphasis. We need to stop laughing at each other. Because they're laughing at us. They put out these images to make us hate each other and hate ourselves. They don't have that problem. There are cultures out here that they don't give a fuck. Shout out to the Jewish culture, or I don't know how, I might be saying that wrong. I'm pretty sure, I would bet my paycheck, they don't have these problems. I have not once heard anything about the Jewish community being like, you too dark, you too light, you don't fit. It might be a religious difference, but I've never heard at any point.
So, in conclusion, we gotta get over the internalized self-hate, the systematic hate that has been instilled into these communities and continue injected into these communities from the media, from the people that are in charge. And when I say in charge, you can be like, oh, well, black people can do this, black people can do that. They can do this, but they're not the people in charge. That's why systematic oppression exists. I'm like, it's a system. It's not, oh, you put one black person in charge, it's over. Racism is over.
It's not, because it's that one black person in charge is being
It's probably a puppet.
racist against their own people.
And it's probably a puppet.
Yeah.
You need
You
to
know,
talk. You need to talk to a black person.
I want the light skinned one up front. Put the other one in the back.
And sometimes they even use dark-skinned people as tokens. Cause they need...
Oh, they definitely use y'all as tokens of that. When's the last time y'all seen a movie where there was just that one dark-skinned person? And you're wondering, how did they become friends with the people that they're with in this scenario? But they have to put them in there because of whatever.
Diversity.
Now we're diverse. You see, we put one in there. We put one in there. It's right. It's right there.
Yes.
Please stop doing that. We're so sick of
It's
that.
like blatant.
It's like a joke now. You know how you watch a horror movie and you be like, oh, there's a black person. They're gonna die first. We all know. Ha ha ha. The light skinned one with the light eyes is going, wait.
We think it's bad when a white person says, I don't see color. Maybe black people need to see that there is a difference between shades. And you're like, hey, like take that narrative of light skin versus dark skin and flip it and be like, hey, we saw this as a bad thing. Maybe it's time to be like, let's help each other up. I see my counterpart. There is a difference between us. People have always seen that there's a difference between us. We have the same fight, the same struggles because we're all black at the end of the day.
But our privileges are so...
But we need to help each other go forward.
Yes.
Because it's little black boys and girls that are out here killing themselves.
Mm-hmm. And bleaching their skin, and they're going to people that are not licensed to do this. I understand if you got a blemish. You know, something happened to you, you got burned, something like that, and you want to even out your skin tone, or you got bumped, or something to justify it. But not on the premise of the world has made me feel that I have to do this to fit in. And you're so desperate that you will go to anybody and anywhere and put this poisonous stuff all over your skin. Trust me, mama, we love you the way you are. You do not have to lighten your skin for nobody and nothing. We need to support our black women, all shades, all sizes, all over. There should never be a little girl out here thinking that they gotta scrape off. We literally watched a video where this girl was sitting in a bathtub with someone who we know is unlicensed in bleach and scraping her blackness off, her pigment off, so that she would be a lighter skin tone, which is completely poisonous and somewhat cancerous. All of those chemicals get absorbed into your bloodstream. It's not worth it, and it's not necessary.
And we have to stop looking up, oh, I need an exotic woman, or
stop letting these people poison you with this exotic stuff. There is nothing exotic about cancer, and if you go out here and you put this stuff on you, that's exactly what's going to happen.
And it's crazy because black people like, I need to find someone exotic, and meanwhile, they're like, why you with that white man, or why you with that other guy? Because he's not worried about exotic, he's just worried about beauty.
Right. Right. And beauty ain't the outside. It really ain't. You can be the most gorgeous person and be the most ugly on the inside. There's a lot of these women out here, and shout out to the Kardashians and their ugly insides. Sorry, y'all. That are gorgeous. I'm not even gonna lie. Yes, they've had surgeries and shit to make them look that way. But to the general public, they're beautiful. But they just got ugly insides. you know?
And it's so terrible. It's like, I would hate to grow up right now in this climate because there's so much like fake beauty out there.
Yeah.
And there's so many little girls and little boys that are struggling because they see what they see on the TV and they think it's real, and it's not real.
You know what, she used to say this to me. She said when she was growing up, she used to watch these mascara commercials. And you know, the long lash, and they show them all these long lashes. To little girls, they think, oh, I gotta buy this product and it's gonna do this. And then soon they find out, that's not what that does. First of all, the model that you see, the lashes that she's using those lashes aren't even real. No one has lashes
It says
like
that
that.
at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, not real lashes. It literally says that. But that's the image that we're putting out. This is what beauty is. This is what you need to look like. If you want to be considered beautiful, this is what it looks like. We need more self-confidence and our women and our men. There's a lot of men out here, and they don't talk about that. There's a lot of men out here that are skin lightening too, and no one talks about that.
Yeah, we need to, maybe one episode, we'll get a few men on here and talk about the strong black men complex, because it goes along with the strong black woman complex also. And
we're evil. We don't understand.
no, but strong black men aren't expected to have feelings
at all.
And that's not, we
There
need
is
to cut that
nothing-
out. There's nothing wrong with having feelings.
Yeah.
There are some damn feelings.
Because otherwise, guess what happens if you date a man that does not have feelings?
He gonna hurt your feelings all the time.
He gonna hurt you, period. You gonna get beat up. That's what's gonna happen. You know, back in the day with the rap songs and stuff, and they be like, I want a thug, I want a roughneck. And then you really get one, and you realize that equals black eyes and bruises. And you be like, back. I want someone with
I
feelings.
love rap because I grew up on rap, but rap also has to take some accountability nowadays for the stereotypes that they continue to perpetuate that don't need to be continued.
We want you to feel stuff. We want you to be a human being. Because otherwise, what's the point? I can date
The older I get, the more like, damn, I'm getting old, because I cringe a little when I hear someone disrespect a woman.
Well, back in the day, it was like, bitches ain't shit but hoes and chicks. Now it's like, wait a minute, no they're
that's
not.
misogynistic as hell.
They're like, why are you saying that?
Like, who hurt you?
Who hurt you? Are you projecting? Come back. Real talk. But that I think that'd be dope to talk about.
Right. I wrote a whole article in a magazine about this one time.
Well, that and I think our men need love. All shades, all sizes. They definitely need to understand. Like, I always get it from my cousin. He's always talking about, well, what do you think this is like too forward when I'm texting this person, or do you think this is wrong? If you heard this, what would you think? And because they don't know, like, everything's changing and no one's giving guidelines. They're listening to these rap songs and thinking, I gotta be hard.
Using them as study guides.
I'm like, this isn't a study guide. This isn't a, stop. These are cliff notes.
It even goes back down to there was some science done by some cuckoo doctor back in the day where they thought that black people had a high tolerance for pain than their counterparts. And it was so shown to be not true. But doctors today still in hospitals believe this. This is why mortality rates for black women are so...
You ever wonder why when you go into a hospital they be like, you be alright? But when you hear next to a white woman and they be like, oh my God, we're gonna get you pain.
And then when you yell about it, they say you're being an angry black woman, and you have to have that. That's why we need more black doctors, and that's why I'm happy that there's a doula movement that's happening. Black doulas are awesome. They're standing up for, like, and I was on a panel and I read the report. Pittsburgh is one of the worst places for black women to have a child because the infant mortality rate is so high.
Wow.
Because they just automatically have all these stigmas and people that no one is standing up and saying, hey, this is wrong. And yes, we know that a lot of things we hear are wrong, but there's not enough educated people to prove it.
Do not step on the scorpions.
If you're wondering what we're looking at in Tara, it's trouble. She's literally stepping on everything, and I think she's getting ready to cut us off.
Just get on the couch.
She's not. It's not gonna happen.
She's gonna be on the couch.
She's not gonna get on the couch. She's going to come back this way and be like, "Oh, hey, what can I chew on? Does this fall?" She's like sick of this stuff.
Get off of the table.
Toby, stop it.
Get down.
Get down.
Get
Shoot.
down.
Shoot. Get down.
Get down.
Get
off of the table. Thank you.
Why she look at you like that? Look. What would you? I don't understand. What's wrong? I was just getting in stuff like I normally do. I'm getting back up here. Forget y'all. Come on, Toby. Stop. Please.
She's so old, but she's so young at the same time.
Yes. She's like 150 years old, but what? She let me back up. 1, 2.
She likes the attention.
No, she said no because Cause see now I've said it, so it's deterred her from getting back up there.
Come here.
Come on, Tubbs.
Come here.
Oh, she said, okay.
Come here.
Here I come.
Come
Here I come.
Can I hold you? That's been
All right.
correct.
Yeah, she might. Put her on the table, we'll be alright. Come on. This is our cat Tubby, and she's very excited that we're letting her get on the table. And she's
She
like,
looks very confused.
She's
like,
like,
you
I don't
tell us to
understand.
get off the table.
hi,
and
baby,
then
come
jump
here.
down.
Say hi to your cat. Ooh, you're strong. Okay. Say hi to. Ooh. Okay. Say hi to everybody.
When she grabs our attention, she doesn't want it. But when we don't want her attention, she's like, "Oh, pay attention to
My
me,"
name is Tubby, and I eat things and get into stuff.
and takes off.
She's definitely getting ready to slap me. So
Just let her go and let her jump off the table.
Be pretty. Come on, do something.
She's
cute.
definitely not a cat model.
Come on, show everybody how
She
gorgeous
does
you
not
are.
cooperate.
No, we're not gonna have a photo shoot. No, no photos. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We were talking about
Men,
yeah,
damn it.
strong black men, like
We love our strong black men,
strong black men and
but
strong
we
black
want you
women.
to know what strong really means.
Yeah,
Strong means mentally strong, not just physically strong.
and it be your strong friends that you gotta check on, cause they hold everybody up.
Yeah. It's weird when you got somebody around you that is supposed to be a strong black man. And that's, I believe we've all encountered those strong black
We
men.
gotta drop that
That we
stigma.
want, yeah. I want you to cry.
being
Like,
strong and
I
black.
wish I could have seen my father cry more because it would have said, you're human.
Men
I
don't
want you
think
to
they
know,
can cry because
You need to cry. I want to know, like, you can't relate to nobody. You can't relate to somebody that don't have emotion.
mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going through something. I need to know that you felt it too. I can't know that if you're not feeling it.
I give advice. I tell people, like, you need to be vulnerable. If you're in a relationship with someone else and you're afraid to be vulnerable with them, then you don't need to be in a relationship with
And
them.
a lot of people
Exactly.
take, when you say be vulnerable, they take that as, I need to be weak. Listen, we all know that if we were in an arm wrestling competition, you would win. We got it. We get it.
The author of Girl Wash Your Face, I bought that book and I wanted to, like, I didn't buy the physical book, but if I did buy the physical book, I bought the Kindle version. And if I would have bought the physical book, I wanted to throw it. I didn't even get that far. I was like, she's on this hella, like, this optimism high. I'm a professional optimist, but I have a little bit of realism.
I got limits to my optimism.
Like,
Okay.
you can't think great thoughts and everything will be okay. Like, I'm a black woman.
You gotta make things happen.
Exactly.
Sometimes you can think that great things are gonna happen, but once you see that it's not, you need to be in a position and make sure that you're in a position to move them where they need to go.
And it turns out the author is like hella problematic because it's not, things weren't that great for her either.
But yeah, we need our black men to stop worrying about that strong black man title.
It's a
And
complex.
the man title. Like I hear a lot of this a lot. Oh, I don't need a Band-Aid, I'm a man. What does that have to do with the fact that you're bleeding on my carpet and I would like to cover your wound so that you do not drip blood on my carpet? I don't give a fuck what you have in between your legs. Anyways.
This has been Housewives. Thank you for tuning in before we get too far down the road.
And before trouble knocks down
The
all
camera.
of us.
Bye.
We love you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It should be, who's it gonna be today? It's gonna be like right in the middle of everybody. It should be like right here. Subscribe to the channel. You should know me by now. It's Angelie TV. Leave a comment. Smash that like button. Come back to see all the definite episodes that are coming up. Follow me on IG at Lee Angels, Angelie TV. Just Stay, McWilson, and 89. We love you.
Are you
That's
sure it's Big
Bye.
Boss in 89?
Yeah.
I'm just messing with y'all. Big Boss in 89.
I mean, it might be, it might not. We're not.